Hey, what is going on, you Blue Basculin? Today, going to be playing some games with a really cool take on Ice Rider that Shintaro used to win a tournament a couple days ago. Before we get into the list and talking about why it's different and what's so cool about it, I want to mention, as far as my upload schedule goes for YouTube, I'm not going to get back into uploading daily, I don't think, until the new set releases, which is in a couple weeks from now. But I'm uploading this gameplay video, and I'll be uploading other gameplay videos before then. And then I also have a video coming out tomorrow or maybe the day after, about the GLC format, which is a format created by Andrew Mahone, which is really cool, going over what it is and the first deck that I made in that format. And I've been really enjoying that format so far. Going to be working on more decks on the stream, so make sure you go check out the stream, twitch.tv/AzulGG, where I'll be playing games against the viewers over there, as well as making decks in that format. I still plan to be playing some standard and maybe playing some standard tournaments as well, so don't miss out on any of that action. Go check out the Twitch stream, first link in the description. And I think that's all I had to say, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at that list that Shintaro used to win a tournament. All right, so this is the list. Like I mentioned, Shintaro won a tournament with, and it looked really cool. And the coolest thing about this list, the most interesting thing about this list, is the Articuno, which isn't like a new card, or isn't like a brand new thing that's never been used before. We've seen it in the past be used here and there, but it hasn't been used in a while. But it makes a ton of sense in Ice Rider, and synergizes really well, I feel like, with the damage output of Ice Rider and what Ice Rider's trying to do. So it's got that Blizzard Veil ability, which says as long as Articuno's in the active spot, your opponent's supporters don't affect your water Pokemon. So the main thing here that it's preventing is boss's orders. So if you got Articuno in the active there and you attack, say use the Cold Cyclone, you move 2 energy back to an Ice Rider V or V Max, doesn't really matter. Your opponent can't then boss your V or your V Max to bring it to the active to hit it, to kind of chase your energy. They basically have to knock out your Articuno. And if they don't attack your Articuno, you can either then air balloon it and retreat into the Ice Rider attack with that, or you can just attach to your Articuno again and be like, well, I'm going to make you knock this Articuno out. I'm just going to attach here, and then I'm going to attack with Articuno again. And you can even do something like you attack with Articuno and you move the energy to your second Articuno, and you could air balloon the active Articuno, retreat to the new Articuno, attack with that Articuno, and so on, kind of forcing your opponent to knock out the Articunos. But when your opponent knocks out the Articunos, after they knock out those, you start going in with your VMAXs. They knock out a VMAX, then you can get off that stamp to 1 potentially, which is so good to be able to pull off. Or even a stamp to 2 would be pretty solid as well if you can't get them to KO both Articunos. So it's really good protection. Not only does it protect your wherever you put your energy from the Cold Cyclone, the math lines up really well from Cold Cyclone into the Max Lance against pretty much all V Maxes. You got 250 here, plus 70 from here, so that gets up to that 320 number. And in this build specifically, it's really heavy on the quick shooting Inteleon, so you can really easily get to that 340 to KO stuff like a Turn-to V Max, and so on. Also, Articuno buying you that time means even if you Max Lance into a fresh VMAX Pokemon, the amount of time that Articuno's bought you, comboed with how many quick shooting Inteleon are in this build, you're gonna be able to build up enough damage from quick shooting to take 1-hit KOs just from the Max Lance itself on, say, a second VMAX to get your last 3 prize cards or something like that. So this build is really cool. I really like the idea of the Articuno, and it makes me want to try it out a little bit further. I was even like theorizing, you know, what about 4 Articuno? Why not just try and open the Articuno and have it flow a little bit better, that we can guarantee to get into an Articuno and kind of go from there. So I wouldn't mind trying something like that. It might be something I try out. But this build right here, this is the exact 60 Shintaro used to win that tournament. I decided, you know, what I like to do initially when I see a new idea or concept, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to take their exact 60. I'm going to play with that first, and then kind of come up with my own ideas from there. The other interesting card in here, I guess interesting, I don't know, it's the Tool Scrapper, which isn't, I mean, some people play this, it's really good against Luke Metal. Between the Tool Scrapper plus the quick shooting Inteleons, it does give you a pretty solid out to beating Luke Metal, actually. You can get your damage high enough to get around the full metal wall reduction. The Tool Scrapper removes the metal goggles, so you can then quick shooting ping the Zacians or the Zamacentas or whatever. Path to the Peak allows you to use the Max Lance against Zamacenta as well. They do play a Chaotic Swell, so that can be a little bit of a back and forth there, but definitely gives you a shot in that matchup for sure. And the rest of it is pretty standard Ice Rider stuff, right? You got your boss's orders, a little bit lighter on the Melanie, and the reason for less Melanie is because when you're attacking with Articuno initially, you kind of you buy yourself a little bit more time to attach energy for turn over time, as well as it conserves the energy when you get this attack off, which does set up a 2-hit KO. The energy goes back to the bench, and then you can do the big discard, so you don't really need as many Melanie in a build like this because of Articuno setting up the 2-hit KO. You don't have to use the Ice Rider itself to go, you know, right of the High King into the Max Lance. You go with that Cold Cyclone on the Articuno into the Max Lance, so it buys a little bit of time there to get you like an extra energy attachment in play for turn, and so on. You know, your opponent can't chase your energy once again because of that Blizzard Veil, so your energy is always safe on the bench. Obviously some snipes can get through, but nothing really snipes for 210 or 320. So it has to be like multiple Cramorant snipes or something, which you'd ideally work around that in a different way if that came up. So not very heavy on the Melanie, a little bit heavier on the draw supporters with the 4 Marnie 2 research, but you still need some Melanies in there. This is the one thing I'm a little bit like, I don't know, a little bit unsure about. Definitely need to play it and see how this feels. But the idea definitely is that, you know, Cold Cyclone preserves the energy while setting up a 2-hit KO. So you also buying you a turn, so you don't need as much Melanie because you'll be attaching for turn a little bit more often because there'll be more turns where your opponent can't go after your energy, or you're not expending your energy through the max lance. And yeah, that's the idea. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get into some games. Another thing I'm unsure about, of course, is whether or not I want to go first or second. I think going first is probably just going to be the correct choice pretty much every time. This game we are going second. Looks like we're both mulliganing though, so see a fresh hand here. Yeah, I assume going first is still probably the best way to go about it. Got the Ice Rider start with a air balloon, Marnie a path to the peak, and we got the air balloon, so we could actually like attach the air balloon. And it looks like they're mulliganing again. Actually, could air balloon to the Ice Rider, and then go get, and we're up against Rapid Strike, which is a pretty tough matchup without Mew. This one's a pretty tough one. So we'll see how this goes. Top deck a Sobble, which is pretty good. Not going to bench it yet, I don't think. I guess I could have benched it. We might go with a Keep Calling this turn. But yeah, but this is a pretty tough matchup. I'm not going to lie. It always feels super difficult because it's just hard for us to get to our Inteleons to keep them out of range of the G-Max Rapid Flow, which can pretty easily be pulled off on the second turn even, as we see them get the energy onto the Urshifu. So they can G-Max Rapid Flow next turn and just KO double Sobble or something. We'll see how it goes. So Sobble, Path, Balloon, Marnie. Do I want to do anything else? No, just go with the Marnie. I mean, they didn't do anything turn 1, but I'm assuming they have something to work with in their hand. Not going to play like their hand is completely dead. Our draw is a lot of Pokemon, which isn't bad. I do have to bench double Sobble here because if they do G-Max Rapid Flow, we lose the out to Drizzile off the top of the deck, or Evolution Incense or Calm. And I did hold this V in the hand because of Calm. So if we top deck Calm now, Calm is away, get a Drizzile, get a Research, and kind of go from there. There's my opponent's Drizzile, and yeah, we'll see what they are able to set up from here. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one without the Mew. I think the Mew makes it about 50-50, maybe slightly favored, but without Mew, I feel like it definitely is unfavorable. I feel like it's definitely an unfavorable matchup. It can just be it's really hard to deal with them, just kind of aggressively shutting down our Sobbles. And you might say, well, we can always just bench 2 Sobble if they go after those, and after the KO VMAX, get the stamp to 1, but our deck is so revolved around the Inteleon engine that that doesn't quite work out how we would like it most of the time. We have so many cards in the deck that are, you know, we got the Sobbles, we got the Drizziles, we got the Level Balls, and to some extent, Evolution Incense and Comms, once we set up a VMAX or 2, those only become outs for other stuff besides VMAXs, or Vs or VMAXs once those are set up, which usually goes after Drizzile and Inteleon. So we have so many cards, so it's not even that, like, we can just, like, avoid putting them. Like, when we play Research or when we play Marnie, we're going to draw into those cards. That's that many less cards we're going to see that could help us in this situation, because we're drawn into the Drizziles, drawn into the Level Balls, and so on. So makes it really, really tough. And here we go. Here comes that turn 2 G-Max Rapid Flow. Thankfully, we get Marnied here. Our hand, of course, was not great. So the Marnie's nice to help us get us out of that. Evolution Incense and a Quick Ball. So Evolution Incense can probably hopefully find us. Oh, they're just going for the Gale Thrust here. We do have options for multiple Sobble to be set up, and another Articuno. I don't think we're using Articuno this game anymore. I feel like that's not going to cut it anymore. So we need to get another V set up. We can go ahead and grab ourselves that. Looks like we prized our 3rd V. I think I'm probably benching this other Sobble as well. Go for Drizzile, and we'll go ahead and get ourselves that Research. Here, we could do a little bit of a Drizzile chain, but I want to, like, depending on what I draw, I would rather, like, be able to use these Drizziles, use these as Drizziles after the Research. Now we can go, like, yeah, so now we can play this Drizzile. So we could get a VMAX here, and we could hit with a VMAX. They don't have a great way to 2-hit KO our V, but also just attach to the bench and then hit the active. Problem here, of course, is that we prized the V. Prized another V. So we're going to get another Drizzile here. I'm thinking about grabbing the VMAX here just because, yeah, like I said, prized that V. So if we lose both these, we're kind of in trouble. And they could go like G-Max Rapid Flow, hit both our Vs next turn. So I think I just want to go like Evolution Incense, get out the VMAX, and then it's possible they don't KO our VMAX next turn. Actually, almost likely. Well, they would. Yeah, it's almost likely that they don't KO our VMAX next turn. So we have 2 turns of this VMAX, hopefully enough to kind of pull us through here. Um, throw this down. Search my deck for. I don't even know what I want at this point. None of this looks that good. Maybe some Marnie for the next turn. We have the Melanie in case they do KO our active. So we're doing 70 damage with the first attack. So I think we can get away with the Ride of the High King. But I also want to make sure this thing gets KO'd next turn. So I think I'm actually just going to go Max Lance for maximum damage here. Kind of put the pressure on a little bit. So they only have 80 HP left. So now we can go like with a Pierce plus double quick shooting Inteleon. And this really does depend on what they go with. That's a Zapdos. You don't see this very often in the Urshifu deck, because it usually doesn't make a whole ton of sense. I guess it can be okay against Eternatus because it kind of offsets the price trade. I guess it could also be okay against... and here comes that Rapid Flow. They still don't KO our VMAX here, unless I'm like did the math really bad here. No, they don't KO it yet. But even with the Passimian hit, they don't quite KO it. This thing only has, like I said, 80 HP left, so we can hopefully work with that. We definitely don't want to Marnie them anymore. We can go ahead and play this bucket, thin out these waters before we draw cards. I think I'm going to Melanie to the V here. Yeah, Melanie to the V. See what we draw. Got one of the quick shooting Inteleons. I could Pierce. I think that's what I am going to go for here. Evolve the active, but then I would lose it to a Thunderous Kick, so I don't want to do that. So I think we want to evolve the bench here. Although I still just kind of want to retreat this Drizzile anyways, because I don't really want it to get KO'd. Quick shooting. And then attach retreat. Probably attach the Wash Energy. What does it do again? Prevent all effects of attack from your opponent's done to... Okay. Yeah, probably go with the Wash Energy here. Because well, I have a basic in the... I have one basic in the discard pile now. So I'll probably just go with the Wash because it can't be found from Capacious Bucket. We'll retreat. And we'll Pierce. Also, not taking a knockout this turn does help us kind of play around Karate Belt, which could be what our opponent has in the hand, right? They could have a Karate Belt to be able to attack with this. Of course, with the Path to the Peak in play, they can't actually use the Zapdos at all. So they got to get rid of the Path to the Peak as well. But yeah, not even taking a knockout this turn could end up working in our favor. Of course, to be honest, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose... Well, taking the knockout this turn doesn't really do anything for us, though. It does get us 3 prize cards, but we could get those prize cards next turn anyways. I guess it would mean we were like, theoretically just have 20 plus damage in play, but... It would be impossible for us to have gotten to that at this point, so that we should be cheating at this point. So, but yeah, we're looking for that other V off the prize cards here. I think at this point, we don't really want to use this super damage Calyrex VMAX, although this thing does just go down to a snipe from an Inteleon from my opponent at some point, so we don't want that to happen either. So, oh, and there's the stadium. So this Zapdos is swinging. Can do 172 my Calyrex V. Yeah, when they make this thing an Inteleon, it can snipe KO my Calyrex VMAX, which would be not great, I guess. Got some reset stamps. Those aren't going to be very good. Got a calm. Don't have a whole ton to work with, but we can draw 3 prize cards off that quick shooting when we KO the Urshifu. That would be a start. Here's a quick ball, but I don't think we have any basic Pokemon left in the deck, to be honest. So I think we just have to start with this quick shooting here, KO the Urshifu, then hopefully be able to KO the Zapdos V. And then from there, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot, even if they get the KO next turn on our V Max. We just need a Pokemon here. Another calm and a boss. So once again, like I said, I don't think this can find anything for us. This is really bad. Quick ball, the calm. Yeah, no Pokemon to be found. All of our Pokemon left are evolutions. Path to the Peak. I really want to KO this Zapdos, so I almost don't want to boss around it. Maybe we just hope the Path to the Peak kind of carries us at this point. We could Pierce for 40. That doesn't seem that great. We're kind of just in a bad spot here. Can't move. Don't want to stamp them. Could boss. That's the one thing I can do is I could boss. Make it harder for my opponent to do stuff on their next turn. Question is, what do I boss? I mean, the Samble's just going to become a Drizzile anyways. We boss the Drizzile and just punch it with Pierce. I don't see... I mean, I guess this can become now an Inteleon and then knock us out. Maybe this was incorrect, because now this can become an Inteleon. They can put Rapid Strike energy on it and then just knock us out. So this is probably incorrect. I probably should have brought the Sobble. I mean, I guess I could double spin us, but that's a little bit less likely to get the knockout here. Could have brought the Passimian. I mean, just looked bad no matter what, right? He was looking bad no matter what. Maybe my opponent has a dead hand. Maybe that's what we can go with here. My opponent might have a dead hand. There's that Karate Belt. There's the Scoop Up Net. Okay, so they knock out my active, but they don't knock out my benched Calyrex yet. They still don't have the VMAX. Still no VMAX for my opponent, but yeah, they got the Karate Belt, got the Triple Energy. I can KO this turn if I get a Melanie plus an energy for turn, though. Here comes a level ball. They're going to get out another Drizzile, and then that Drizzile is going to get them, you know, something. And then they're only an Inteleon away from winning the game. Actually, they're going to... Maybe they just benched that Sobble. But that seems like a weird thing to discard. Maybe they forgot. All right, reset stamp. Maybe this frees us. It gives us the calm again, but no Pokemon once again. So once again, in trouble here. There's the knockout. Need a reset stamp, and we need to attack this turn. So we really just need to top deck a Pokemon or the item search Inteleon. I mean, or I guess Melanie would be okay as well. There's the Pokemon. Okay, so we can get rid of the VMAX and grab ourselves the item search Inteleon. We can throw this down. We're gonna grab ourselves a Melanie and something else. Melanie and probably reset stamp, to be honest. I think that's what we have to go with here. Yeah, I feel like that's got to be the move. Although the reset stamp only resets stamps them to 3, which to be honest really isn't that much. With the first attack, we're doing what, 130. We pretty much have to one-hit KO this thing, I feel like, but then we have no energy in play, and we're out of Melanie. Like I said, this build only plays 2 Melanie. We weren't able to get anything going with Articuno early on, which of course was a big shame. Okay, so we could do... Well, we didn't get another Drizzile. If I had gotten another Drizzile... Well, I guess I could have searched for Drizzile instead. I was thinking if we got Drizzile here, we could go ping 130. But even then, ping next turn isn't enough. Man, so we kind of just have to take the knockout. I guess we can... No, because we didn't get... I should have got the Drizzile. Okay. We can go quick shooting in a Sobble. So I should have gotten... Then Max Lance knockout. What I should have done is I should have... actually got Sobble with a level ball instead of the reset stamp, and then use Drizzile to level ball to get Drizzile and then get the Sobble that way. That would have been the better way to go about this. Can this hit active? Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. I can. Okay. For some reason, I thought maybe it's only bench, but here comes the quick shooting anyway. So they take out our Calyrex VMAX, and that's a game. Okay, so we lose this first one. It is a tough matchup, like I mentioned. We weren't able to use Articuno, and Articuno honestly doesn't seem very good when they can kind of aggressively snipe our bench the way they can. So I don't think Articuno was the route to take. It's just a tough matchup. It's just a tough matchup without the Mew. Hopefully we don't hit our Urshifu in the next one. Here we go again, hoping to not play against another what's it called, this game? Another Urshifu. Don't want to play against Urshifu. We got the Articuno play in the hand, so we're probably gonna go with that off the rip here. Level ball, combat away, get an Articuno. Bucket, get a water, attach to the Articuno. Probably take 2 energy off the bucket as well. Put 1 on the bottom with the Marnie, because we don't really want to see a water energy immediately next turn. And then play the Marnie. We'll see what that gives us. Hopefully enough to you know, keep us in the game. Another Sobble would be great. That would be like probably the #1 thing to get. This is definitely a situation where we want to use Keep Calling, but I think the Articuno, setting up the Articuno, is just a little bit more important. So going for that's a little bit better. But now we can go level ball, grab a Sobble. Let me check the prize card drill. Got both Articuno. It's a whole Inteleon line. 2/2 on the VMAX. That's all we need as long as we can find them. Grab Sobble. Quick ball away the Path. We're both playing Ice Rider, so Path not super important. They could play something like a Dedenne or something along those lines, but they do, that's fine. Grab 2, like I said. Catch 1, and then play that Marnie. Hopefully find ourselves... We need the V, of course. Another Sobble. Double Inteleon, no Drizzile. But I'll definitely bench the Sobble. And we'll pass over to my opponent. And yeah, hope top deck Drizzile would be great. We could then just quick ball for... Or, yeah, Drizzile for quick ball. That's exactly what I want to do. Drizzile for quick ball. Quick ball. We can grab that the V, and then we can set up the Articuno. Hit with that Cold Cyclone. Do the 70 damage, set up the 2-hit KO if it becomes a VMAX, and then, you know, set up our V on the back line. And then once again, prevents our opponent from using Boss to chase down Articuno. We could even do like a little bit of a Drizzile chain, I think, so that we can get the quick shooting out on the following turn alongside the Inteleon. So level ball, or that what's called, would be really good top decks here. Level ball, Drizzile, I guess a Calm would also work as well. Look like they might even whiff. Possible they whiff the knockout here as well. They might whiff that, but here comes the Drizzile, so I'm sure they're going to go ahead and grab themselves that VMAX and then take the KO here on our poor Sobble. And then yeah, once again, we're a little bit in top deck mode, but we have a lot of top decks. Drizziles, Evolution Incense, Calm. I don't know, what were the other ones? I mean, the V itself would be okay, but it doesn't get us to a Drizzile, which means we can't get to that Shady Dealings on the following turn to keep the kind of flow going, the game moving. So that wouldn't be as good, to be honest. We'd really like an out to Drizzile. There's a Research, which is okay. Does this one ever matter? know if this one really ever matters. The research is okay. The problem with the research is we lose 2 Inteleons. So that, of course, stinks. And then the draw not being great. Also, not great. Quick ball away the Pat to the Peak once again. Grab the V. And then we can level ball for a Drizzile, which I will use to grab some kind of draw supporter here. And I'm probably going to go for a research, I think. Yeah, I like the idea of a research. Just draw cards. We got a spot for this Inteleon on the next turn. And just go ahead and hold Cyclone. And once again, this sets up that 2-hit KO, which it's really nice to set up. So this is setting up actually pretty okay, to be honest. Of course, like I said, didn't love research anyway. Double Inteleons. Would love to have kept those around, but not the end of the world. Not the biggest of deals. I also could have stamped last turn, but I'm thinking I would want to save it for this turn. Stamp when I can put them to, you know, less cards in hand. Let's see if they go for... I've seen this play so many times. Are they about a Shady Dealings for a boss? No, it's a quick ball. I've seen it so many times, you know. I've done it myself, boss, while under the effects of the Blizzard Veil. But looks like they're just going to set up another V here. They know better, it looks like, than bossing around Articuno. Yeah, setting up another Calyrex V here is my opponent. But yeah, we're setting up pretty well. This is exactly what we want. And then we're going to set up so far setting up pretty smoothly into the potential for that Stamp to 1 play, which is so nice and such a big deal to be able to pull off and set up and so on. So looking pretty good so far. And we'll see where this one goes. Another Drizzile top tech means we can get the evolution right now. We can get that evolution incense. Hit the VMAX online, play the reset stamp. Not super big disruption, only down to 4 cards, but they do have a 7-card hand, so it definitely hits, you know, definitely better than not. And you know, with these decks, I mean, any extra cards makes a huge difference. I feel like whenever you're playing something like one of these Inteleon builds, every single card makes a huge difference. So another water energy, Pat to the Peak. Definitely gonna go with this quick shooting onto the benched V. Do we have another Sobble in the deck? The answer is yes, which is huge. I feel like here to be able to get this, you'd be able to utilize this Drizzile. We do not have another V to set up, so this makes you think I want to attach the extra energy active here. Actually, I'll actually throw out to the Pass at the Peak. So some builds do play that. Well, maybe I should have kept the Watch energy around there. Probably better to have kept it around than not. Some builds do play that. Oh man, what's it called? On the tip of my tongue here. Oh, bro. They play the Crobat or Dedenne. I was like, what is it? I know what it's called, but what is it called? Crobat or Dedenne. Some do play that Crobat or Dedenne. So another cute play we can do here, actually, is we can run this VMAX away to an Articuno. We still have the second Articuno in the deck, and they did make this a VMAX. So now I think I'm going to go for that line of play here. And then on the next turn, we're just going to look to boss knock this thing out as our final prize card. So we're just going to run to Articuno for a turn. We'll see what we draw. We could go... I mean, there's a couple different routes we could take, but I think that's what I'm going to go for here. And then they'll have to move this into a fresh V, and if they're not doing damage for the turn, it'll be a pretty good spot. The only thing with that, though, is I don't have a ton of energy left. So if I do run to... Actually, no, we can just go... Then we can just max Lance and then set up double Inteleon and double ping it, and that's just game. We'll have 2 Inteleon set up. That should just be game, actually. That's our game plan. I almost overthought this a little bit, but they have 4 prize cards left, so even if they KO this on the following turn, we still win the game. So I think that has to be the play here because it's just so good. It's such a good play. Kind of does exactly what we need to do to win the game. Yeah, let's go with that. That should just win us the game, to be honest. Here comes a net and a Path to the Peak. Path to the Peak grab is interesting because it doesn't do anything, but maybe they're just looking for fodder for this quick ball. That could be it. Yeah, there we go. Quick ball, grab a new V. But yeah, we're going to be able to just go max Lance this turn, 250, so it's 270, so 30 HP remaining. We'll ping it. Actually, do we just win with 2 quick shootings? Maybe I just did the math even worse than I did it last time. But the draw is not great, so now we might have to retreat to Articuno and pass, actually. Here comes that Ride of the High King, so Articuno and pass might be our play next turn. See what our top deck is. The water. So I can go attach. And then they have 300 left. So I have to do 250 plus the ping. But I wouldn't win. Wouldn't win next turn unless I get another... What's it called? But I don't guaranteed get that. That is the problem here. So I could retreat to Articuno and pass for a turn. And go like, you know, quick shooting, ping this for sure. And now we're down to that 280. But if I hit for 250 even if I ping next turn, we don't win unless we top deck an out to another Inteleon or Drizzile into Inteleon. So we have a decent amount of outs. It's just not guaranteed, so I don't love the odds, but I could go for it anyways, just to be a little bit more aggressive. The thing is, if we retreat to the Articuno, we're out of air balloon, so our Articuno could just get stuck in the active, but maybe that's just fine. We'll be able to retreat it eventually. We do have 2 energy left. One could be prized, though, and I actually don't know if it's prized or not. And then I wouldn't be able to attack with the Articuno at all. But if they don't play Quick Shooting Inteleon, then they can't pressure us anyways. Now, the one thing they could play is an escape rope, I guess. But yeah, if they don't play Quick Shooting Inteleon themselves, which they might not, we've only seen the double item find Inteleon. They haven't aggressively, like, I feel like they haven't as aggressively gone through their Inteleon line, which is what you want to do when you don't play the Quick Shooting Inteleons, because getting to Inteleon, you only need or want to do it when you do it, basically. If you're not doing it, like, you don't care, like, I guess it doesn't really buy me that much more time, though, because now my opponent can just go knockout, and then, yeah, so I guess this is just incorrect, actually, the whole time, because now my opponent can just, like, retreat to this Calyrex V, knockout with this VMAX, and then I need boss plus an evolution. But now if I top like a draw supporter for turn, I can't actually do that. But they did attach for turn, they didn't Melanie, so I might get bailed out this time around. Oh, but they do play Quick Shooting Inteleon. Okay, so they do play the Quick Shooting Inteleon, which means it's going to be, they can pressure my Calyrex just as much as I can pressure theirs. So we both only have 1 Quick Shooting. But there comes the Ride to the High King. So I guess despite my mistake, we're still about the same spot we would be. So the question is just, do we top deck here or not? And the answer is Path to the Peak. So I think we're probably going to lose here. Quick Ball with the Path. I think I have, yeah, one more thing to grab out of the deck. Man, like, I really don't want to boss something on my opponent's side here, but I almost feel like I don't have a choice. So we go for this ping. Feels really bad. I mean, I could not boss and hope they don't have boss, but I feel like it's pretty likely they have boss, but them having boss and energy or something, because then I have to boss this thing back up to chase it down to KO it. I feel like our best course of action here is just retreat to Drizzile, actually, and pass. We have more outs to Drizzile than Inteleon, so I feel like it's better to retreat to the Drizzile here. And yeah, there's the boss. So it was a close one. The stamp there for 3 really killed it for us. We had a lot of outs, to be honest. We had a lot of outs to be able to find this Inteleon. Didn't quite get there. So another L, but I think this game really did showcase the power of Articuno. Even though my opponent didn't misplay by playing boss into my Articuno or anything, it really helps us slow down the game and get control over the game state and the board state. You can do that in so many matchups against pretty much every VMAX deck with the Articuno there. So yeah, I really really enjoyed playing the Articuno here. I'm definitely going to try it out a little bit more. And like I said, I could even see playing 3, maybe even 4 Articuno, so you open it more often, and you can like chain back-to-back Articunos a little bit easier to take advantage of that. But yeah, the Articuno is really cool. Definitely recommend you guys try it out in your Ice Riders. And might not see you tomorrow, but I'll see you soon.